Suffering, honestly. The Buddha's first move was not belief. It was diagnosis. Most people hear that Buddhism begins with suffering and think, great, an ancient religion with a branding problem. That reaction makes sense. In English, suffering sounds heavy. It sounds like hospital rooms, grief, war, heartbreak, and the worst week of your life. If that is all Buddhism means, then the first noble truth can sound like, life is mostly bad. Please sit on a cushion and admit it. That is not quite it. The Pali word is dukkha. It includes obvious pain, but it is wider than pain. It points to the strange friction inside experience, the gap between what is happening and what the mind keeps demanding. Things change, but we want them to stay. Pleasant moments arrive, but we want them to last longer. Pain arrives, and we want it gone immediately. We get what we wanted, then discover the mind has already moved the target. Dukkha is that wobble. It is the little background sense of not quite that can sit underneath a good meal, a beautiful vacation, a relationship, a job title, a meditation session, a scrolling session, or a win that should have felt more complete than it did. The Buddha's first move was not to ask for belief. It was to ask for honesty. Look closely, he says. Is there friction here? Diagnosis, not pessimism. In the Buddha's first discourse after awakening, SN 5611, he lays out what later became known as the Four Noble Truths. The first is Dukkha. Sujato's translation has the Buddha name the truth directly. Then list ordinary human pressure points: aging, illness, death, separation, disappointment, and not getting what you wish for is suffering. That last one is almost annoyingly plain. Not getting what you want hurts, but the teaching goes deeper than a list of bad things. The Buddha also says, in brief, the 5 grasping aggregates are suffering. We'll unpack the aggregates later. For now, hear the practical claim. Dukkha is not only what happens to you. It is also how the mind grabs experience and tries to turn it into something stable. Me, mine, my status, my future, my control. This is why Buddhism is not pessimism. A pessimist says, everything is awful. The Buddha says something sharper and more useful. When experience is unstable and the mind relates to it through grasping, the result is dukkha. That is a diagnosis. A diagnosis is not an insult. If a doctor says your ankle is broken, she is not being negative. She is being precise enough that healing can begin. Vague pain becomes workable once it has a name. Thai forest teachers tend to keep pulling practice back to this directness. Not ideas first. Not aesthetics first. Not be spiritual first. Look at the mind and body honestly. What is happening? Where is clinging? What happens when you stop pretending it is not there? The friction test. Try this as an experiment. Think of something small that annoyed you recently. A late reply, a tone in a text, traffic, a plan changing, someone misunderstanding you, a meditation that felt useless. The event itself may have been simple. Then the mind added a whole world. Why are they like this? Why does this always happen? What does this say about me? How do I fix this feeling immediately? What if this keeps happening? That extra world is where dukkha becomes visible. This does not mean the outside world does not matter. Buddhism is not asking you to become passive or pretend harm is fine. If something needs to be changed, you can change it. If someone is hurting you, you can leave. If there is injustice, you can act. The first noble truth is pointing to a more intimate layer. Even before the external problem is solved, the mind may already be adding grasping, resistance, identity, fantasy, and fear. If you cannot see that layer, it runs the whole show. Seeing it is the beginning of freedom. Dukkha does not cancel joy. One common misunderstanding is that Buddhism says joy is fake. It does not. The Buddha was very clear that pleasant feeling exists, friendship exists, gratitude exists, beauty exists, peace exists. The question is not whether joy is real. The question is whether joy can carry the job we secretly give it. Please last forever. Please prove I am okay. Please protect me from loss. Please become my identity. Joy is real. Clinging to joy creates dukkha. That distinction matters. If you miss it, Buddhism can start to sound cold, like the goal is to care less about everything. But the training is not emotional numbness. It is learning to meet experience without squeezing it so hard that it breaks in your hand. You can love people more cleanly when you are not trying to own time. You can enjoy success more cleanly when it does not have to become yourself. You can sit with pain more cleanly when pain does not instantly become, "My life is wrong." This is the first taste of the path. Nothing mystical yet, just a better description of the problem. Why start here? Because almost everyone tries to solve dukkha by rearranging the world. More money, better body, better partner, better apartment, better morning routine, better productivity system, better version of yourself who finally has the correct life. Some of those things matter. Buddhism is not childish enough to deny that conditions matter. Poverty hurts. Loneliness hurts. Bad habits hurt. Bad company hurts. But the Buddha is interested in the part that follows you across conditions. If the mind keeps relating to life through craving and clinging, then every upgrade quietly inherits the same old friction. This is why the first noble truth is merciful. It stops blaming the wrong object. The problem is not that you have failed to arrange a life with no discomfort. No one gets that life. The problem is that the mind keeps trying to build permanent safety out of impermanent things. Dukkha is what that feels like from the inside. Practice. For the next 24 hours, do not try to become more Buddhist. Just practice naming. When friction appears, pause for 5 seconds and finish this sentence. Dukkha is here as Cai To Tuin. Make it specific. Not I am stressed. Try. Dukkha is here as wanting this email to be different. Dukkha is here as replaying that conversation. Dukkha is here as wanting my meditation to feel impressive. Dukkha is here as fear that I am behind. Do not fix it yet. The first training is recognition. Reflection. Where in your week does dukkha show up most predictably? What exactly is the mind wanting in that moment? What changes if you treat that moment as diagnosis, not personal failure?